How scared are you by the images that you're seeing on the India Today screen, Dr. Thayer?
Of course, the images are very disturbing, Rahul. The basic thing is that we've always said, when the question is asked, when will the third wave come and how bad is it going to be? The timing normally between the first and second wave was 32 weeks. Now, do we have 32 weeks? It depends on so many factors, but most importantly, three factors being: one, public behavior, which you are seeing now is very disturbing, because actually the second wave is not over. It's just that relatively it's come down from 4 lakhs to 43,000. So it's still very much around. The second part is that vaccine is the only defense that we know today that can help us to mitigate the third wave.
I suspect that overall this will not lead to a third wave, certainly as substantial as we saw in the second wave, which swept across India from about the middle of February till barely about a month ago. I would be concerned about states like Kerala, which really never, if you look at it, it's Kerala, Manipur, Tripura, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Sikkim, which are still showing test positivities in excess of 10%. And over there, it's as though the second wave never really completed. I would be most concerned about new variants, because I think with the existing variants, given that so many people have been infected already, and the fact that many people have already been vaccinated, let's say 38% of our population have at least one jab, I would be less, I really don't think that the third wave will build up to that level or build up that fast.
We actually did make a projection about the third wave. So broadly, what our projections say is that if there is no new, more infectious variant than the Delta one, then third wave, whenever it comes, will probably be just a ripple, about half the size as the first wave. On the other hand, if a more infectious variant, and we assume that a 25% more infectious variant than Delta, if it arrives in August, then the third wave would be somewhat more significant. It will be somewhat higher than the first.
If the immunity developed by the natural or the following natural infection or following vaccination, if the new variant is able to escape that, that is going to be a matter of concern in terms of a third wave coming or appearing very quickly.
Has something gone wrong? Why is the Kerala active cases not coming down at the moment?
The most important aspect is that the population density of Kerala. There is no urban village divide here. It's a big township. The mobility of the people traveling across the border and inside the state is huge. Actually, it's very, very high. So that is the basic reason why it's not coming down all of a sudden. The plateau of 10 plus test positivity is still there for the last week or so.
The areas which did not have higher circulation going on in the earlier wave are definitely prone for newer areas of circulation. So that's basic number one. Number two, we should acknowledge that there is ongoing continuous circulation in the state of Kerala. We can't deny that. And most people might prefer to stay at home rather than go to the hospital for isolation. So because the public health infrastructure can identify those who require kind of oxygenation support when required, and they might continue to spread more within the family rather than outside the family. So that's why the circulation gets established when the isolation is unable to break the transmission.
Kerala during the first wave and during the second wave also, the excess death data is there now. Kerala's excess death data by a lot of unofficial figures suggest that Kerala will have a mortality of around 35 to 40,000 cases. That's what you were mentioning earlier. Kerala has officially declared around 15,000. The real toll will be 2 to 3 times. So infection mortality, that is how many persons get infected for one death, is around 300. So if we multiply 40,000 by 300, approximately 1.25 to 1.3 crore people in Kerala has been infected to date. That indicates Kerala's zero prevalence at this moment will be something around 35 to 40%.
Is it time for uniform civil code, or do you agree with Maulana Firangi Mehli, who was saying it's not possible, it's not practical, it cannot be implemented, in a vast and diverse country like India?
I feel it's a progressive step because all the personal laws that are in conflict would of course come under a common umbrella. So I like to further iterate that it's not a fundamental right under the Constitution of India, but it's highly recommended. So the Muslim community per se, the progressives, are totally with the Uniform Civil Code. I like to add one thing. I want to ask, is the majority community okay with tweaking their personal personal laws?
Indian laws do follow a uniform civil code in most civil matters such as Indian Contract Act, Civil Procedure Code, Sale of Goods Act, Transfer of Property, Partnership, Evidence, etc., etc. Sure. Now it comes to the marriage, divorce, adoption, inheritance and succession. Respected sir, with all due respect to the Constitution, let us address this. We have the right to dissent even with the verdict coming in. And with the same right, let me tell you, I dissent with this for the same reason why. India is not as easy as a Denmark or a United States or an Australia. India is like my 5 fingers I present to you, sir, which are all diverse. There is so much of plurality here.
Article 44 of the Constitution, which specifically mentions that the state shall endeavor to secure for the citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India. What does it mean? It means that it is a constitutional prerogative. And people who are opposing uniform civil code, unfortunately, they are reflecting this anti-women sentiment. These are the same sentiments which were brought when the Narendra Modi government brought the law against the triple talaq as well. So I seriously don't understand. The judgment of the Delhi High Court is crystal clear.
ये सम्मान की बात नहीं है, सीधा मुस्लिम को टारगेट करने की भी बात है। एक देश, एक संविधान नहीं चल सकता। उस मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड के हिसाब से जो हमारे शरिया कानून है उसके हिसाब से हम लोग चलते हैं, उसी हिसाब से हम चलना चाहेंगे। चाहे वो हिंदू मुस्लिम ब्रदरहुड हो, उसको हम मानते हैं। हम देश की एकता अखंडता पर विश्वास करते हैं। हमारा कोई ऐसा मतलब नहीं है कि हम लोग कानून को नहीं मानते हैं। हम हर चीज में कानून को मानते हैं, लेकिन अब ये जो एजेंडा चलाया जा रहा है, कुछ इसको हवा दी जा रही है। ये हमारे अधिकार छीनने की बात हो रही है।
कौन सा अधिकार छीना जा रहा है आपका? कौन सा अधिकार छीना जा रहा है?
अरे सर, हमारी अपनी वो है, हम अपने तरीके से, हम अपने इस्लामिक तरीके से चलेंगे, हम हमारा जो शरिया कानून है उसके तौर पर चलेंगे।